Welcome, everyone. I'm Bill Hannafin, the managing editor of The Wise Marketer, and I'm pleased to be here with you for this webinar, which is part of the CRMC Webinar Series. Today, we're featuring Marie-Hélène Cusson, who's Senior Director of Digital Marchandising and Analytics at RONA. She may correct me. She'll fill in some details if I get anything slightly off. But if you know retail, and I think most of you in the audience today know retail really well, you'll know that customer identification has always been a fundamental challenge. And even in the world of e-commerce, where seemingly we have everybody's digits and all their information, we've learned that identifying anonymous shoppers represents one of retail's largest untapped opportunities. So with RONA, who's a leading Canadian retailer of home improvement and construction products and services, it was also a big challenge. So I'll tell you a little bit about RONA. They have such an interesting story. They were founded in 1939. I'm going to let Marie-Hélène, when she introduces herself, talk a little more about this. But they founded in 1939, known as RONA. They were at one point acquired by Lowe's, became part of the Lowe's family. There was a divestiture a few years ago, and they've returned to the branding from their roots with RONA. But they operate under multiple banners, including RONA. Obviously, it's big box formats such as RONA Home and Garden, RONA Plus, as well as smaller brands such as RONA Cashway, Moffett and Powell, and Dick's Lumber. So there's a lot underway. Marie-Hélène has a lot under her care right now in the business. So today's conversation is titled Anonymous Shoppers, Goldmine or Blindspot. And we landed on that because we're going to share the story about how RONA successfully adopted a strategy to identify the anonymous shopper and turn previously unknown browsers into loyal, high-value buyers with simple, personalized, in-session approaches. The solutions that they adopted were through a collaboration with Exchange Solutions, which is a cloud-based loyalty platform management company that delivers personalized loyalty solutions to both B2C and B2B businesses. Exchange Solutions has a wide spectrum of clients, including retailers such as Esso, Mobile, Sobeys, McKesson, Suncor, Foot Locker, and Bells. So let me do some quick housekeeping. I want to introduce Marie-Hélène, and then we'll get right into it. So we're going to talk for about 20 to 25 minutes. We'll keep it brisk, engaging is the intention. Have some fun along the way. We have a large audience, so we've muted everybody to be just going to watch the background noise. And we've also got, if you notice in this webinar tool at the bottom, there is a Q&A icon. So if you have questions, please drop your questions in the Q&A spot. We've got a moderator who will go through those, and we'll answer as many as we can. If for any reason we don't get to your question, we will circulate that to Marie-Hélène and also to our group, and we'll do our best to get you an answer after the event. So let me introduce Marie-Hélène. It's been my pleasure to know her. She's super busy, and so I want to thank you again for your time. I appreciate your time. She's Senior Director, Digital Merchandising and Analytics at RONA that I mentioned. She leads the company's digital strategy, the data analytics, and online merchandising initiatives, and she's been at least 10 years there, shaping the digital evolution of one of the largest, I guess, Canadian home improvement retailers. She's a champion of customer-centric marketing approaches, data-driven innovation, and always has her eye on enhancing the shopping experience. So over the past decade, she's held multiple senior leadership roles spanning e-commerce, brand marketing, and digital strategy. And most recently, she really had a big accomplishment where she spearheaded the launch of RONA's award-winning AI-powered search platform, which earned a nice award, the Retail Council of Canada's E-commerce Experience Award in 2025. So, bienvenue. At last, I get to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have you as well. So I think the place to start, everybody wants an opportunity to speak to an executive in your capacity, but can you just give us an overview of your roles and responsibilities at RONA and what it's like in the role today?
Yeah, of course. So as you mentioned, I've been with RONA for a little more than 10 years. in my current role for almost 3. It's been exciting leading a transformation in the RONA digital team. So I lead several teams, so from e-commerce operations, site experience, online merchandising with our online exclusive program, analytics, and I'm participating in all our digital transformation projects. So a very big scope, like you mentioned, but very, very fun. I would say that in my role, my focus is really on building a seamless online experience that connects our customer, our stores, and our supply chain. That's very important, the connection between those 3 main components. So, and all of that while driving profitable growth for the organization. And because RONA is an iconic Canadian brand, everything I do and the team does digitally, it needs to reflect who the brand is. So I'm also really looking at that. So we are RONA reliable, we are experts, and we are close to our communities. So that consistency between our brand promise and our customer experience is what truly builds loyalty over time. And that's what my focus on.
Yeah, interesting. So I'm thinking, if you've been there 10 years in an e-commerce related role, I think that puts you really at the very beginning of the e-commerce wave, right? Or pretty close to it. And so I'm curious about your journey there, like how you came into this entire role. And then kind of at what point did you start to embrace customer loyalty, customer engagement as part of success in that area?
Yeah, I've always been in between digital and marketing, so that's really my background. And because I've always been somewhere between the two, it's just, I think it's just because it's my passion, about connecting the customer, making sure that their experience is memorable, they become loyal and advocates for the brand. So that really is what sparked me. At RONA, we're a home improvement category where loyalty is earned through trust and service, not points. So that's very important. So the idea of turning loyalty into a growth engine, especially for a pro customer, for example, with our VIP Pro program, felt like it's a natural fit. Sorry. Let's not forget our DIY customers. We're seeing that same principle come to life online through our work with the exchange solution. We're using personalized offers, real-time engagement to make every interaction more relevant to the customer. So that's what's helping us build the loyalty, not just through the rewards, that's very important, but through a better and more tailored experience every time a customer shop on rona.ca.
Interesting. Yeah, that's great. So when I sort of wanted to get a baseline on your loyalty efforts today. So I know you have this VIP program, RONA VIP Pro, right?
Yep.
I think it seems like it's mobile centric, mobile first, which makes sense when you're talking to contractors and professionals that are on the go all the time. But can you give us an overview of the program, just how long it's been in market, what kind of impact it's had?
Yep. Yeah, so VIP Pro has been in the market for almost 5 years now. An important nuance, it's a discount-based program. So the pros get 5 or 10% depending on the category. It's designed specifically for contractors and small business owners, people who shop frequently at RONA. And what we're seeing is strong adoption and engagement with that program. So members do spend more and they shop more often with us, and they have a lifetime value that is higher than the ones that are not VIP Pro members.
Okay. Now, has it extended to the homeowner or the consumer, or is this do they have
for the pro?
Okay, and do they need to identify themselves? How do they validate that they are a professional person like that?
So we do have like very strict guardrails to identify that there's pros. So they need to provide their business numbers or a proof that they own a business to be part of that program, and it's activated in store. So there's a component that is validated to ensure that a pro-only customer can be in that program.
Okay. So we are talking about anonymous shoppers, and I was just sort of painting the picture before about what a big challenge it is. And it's in the brick and mortar world, it's a challenge, and so that's a lot of times why permission-based marketing programs exist. We need to know who people are. We know football, but we don't know who they are. So there's the classic challenge for a retailer. But in the e-commerce channel, it's a little bit different. You have many visitors to your website. Not all of them are registered or identify themselves. So can you just talk about like, what did you first observe that was a challenge, and where did you see, like, gosh, we have an opportunity here that we haven't realized, there's more value that we could capture. What kind of challenges were you looking at?
So when you want to capture that traffic and that important piece, you need to know how to target that portion of your traffic. And
Mhm.
when you don't know that traffic, it is very difficult to target it. So you're looking into solutions like the ES Engage program that can do it for you, that is like smart enough to use the right trigger. So that's where when I think I met ES solution at Shop Talk way back then, and that's
Great.
the discussion that helped me like come to that haha moment, like, yeah, we need a partner we can trust to capture that traffic, that anonymous traffic, because internally, that's something that is practically impossible to do by yourself. So with the right partners, we can put in place the right tools to target that traffic and make it convert online.
Okay. And so these were specific campaigns that you ran separate from the pro program, or as part of the program? How did it take
So it's
flight?
completely separated from the VIP Pro program. Actually, the VIP Pro program, it's more in store. There's a small component online. They can have their rebate online.
Yep.
As with ES solution, it's all for the DIY. They don't need to be connected. It targets the customer in the
Mhm.
journey based on specific behavior, and that's what's magic for me, right?
Okay, interesting. So can you tell me sort of give me an example or two, if you would, just of the campaigns that you did run, and how did
Yeah.
your team execute those, and over what period of time?
First, I think with that program, we wanted the thing that everyone wanted. It's to accelerate their e-commerce growth, but without relying on too much promotional activities, right? The goal, to be clear, was really to drive conversion and AOV, but in a smarter way, more targeted, while continue to protect the margin. So that's what ES allows us to do. It's to be smarter with the target and the promotion that we have. We were also looking for ways to complement our flyer strategy. So that was super important, with more personalized offer, real-time incentive that responds to each customer behavior, like I mentioned. So
Interesting.
yeah, so it's been 8 years now that we partner with ES Exchange, and we really, really see like the benefits on all the KPIs.
Okay. And so originally, now you're in a flow, so it's different. But originally, how big a lift was it to get started? Like, to create these campaigns, because you have a giant, complex marketing technology stack. So you bring something new in. What is it like to do that integration and get started?
Honestly, it was like surprisingly really easy, but it was a true team effort. We worked hand in hand with Exchange Solution, the
Mhm.
digital team, the marketing team, the whole process. I believe from the alignment on launch, the testing, and the rollout, even the design of the offers. It took a few months, 10 weeks.
Oh,
And it was so easy. And once we rolled it out, we saw practically instantly results. So we do saw an increase in our performance online with those personalized offers.
yeah, interesting. So you've run campaigns, you said, for about 8 years, right? So I guess
Yeah.
on and off. Do you run for a while, and then you will pause, or take a different approach depending on what you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, so it really varies, and it's what I love the most about that platform is it's super flexible. So I
Mm,
can turn it on, turn it off pretty easy. So for example, let's say for on a 12 period, it's practically always on ESI. But
mhm.
when I do have huge events such as Black Friday and I have like site-wide offer, I have the ability to turn it off for 1 or 2 days and then put it on as soon as I want. Because you don't want to conflict the user with too many offers. So we do
Right.
have that flexibility to say, okay, Saturday and Sunday, I'm pausing the solution because I have a site-wide offer, and I'm turning it on back on Monday. And all of this is super quick, super quick.
That's great. And talk about some of the results. I mean, I could cheat here because you gave me some of these numbers, but they're quite incredible. I mean, a couple of them I'm looking at a 73% average order value lift and so on. But could you sort of summarize the highlights for you as a business owner?
Yeah, I think it's gonna speak to a lot of people that are with us, Bill, today. The metric that had the greatest impact is the margin lift. It really stood out. Driving incremental sale is great, but doing it while you do improve your profitability is what everyone wants. So it's also increased our AOV. It increased their return visit, the ROAS. So all the KPIs are up. I've seen 1.3 times the target spend get higher. And I spoke about the way it's easy to work with ESI and turning on, turning off. We had a technological issue one day, and we needed to turn it off for 4 weeks. And I saw my sales and all my KPIs go down. And as soon as I turned the switch on back, it went up. So it does have a huge impact on my KPIs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking of a crazy comparison. If you take vitamins and supplements, sometimes you wonder, if I stop, will anything happen? You can't tell if your health is better or worse. But in your case, it was so obvious. You desperately wanted to turn the faucet back on, right?
And we were wondering when we turned it off, we were like, what's going on with our KPIs? And we were like, hey, you know what? I think it's because we turned, and as soon as we turned it back on, we saw the KPIs go up. So we said, okay, never again.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's interesting. The nuance in here is, like, many times people talk about incrementality. So it's, we got additional sales and revenue was up, but you're talking about you did this with also increased margin.
Yep.
So there was an element of marketing efficiency here, right? You got extra sales revenue, but you had increased margin.
Profitable offers. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's particularly hard to achieve these days.
Yeah, but the solution targets the right people versus offering the discount to everyone. And that's what matters the most. So you don't give the $10 off to all your visitors. You give it to some segment of your visitor that are less likely to convert if they don't have that $10. So that's where you get more profitable on the margin, right?
There you go. Yeah, that's where the magic is, I think, because most, even as a consumer, your experience with e-commerce is usually the immediate offer of 10% if you join the club, add an email, do something. And that doesn't really discriminate between people that are just coming to the site.
Exactly. And you don't want to give $10 off to someone who was already planning to buy, right? So that's an important factor too.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Yeah, I imagine there's some secret sauce there. I'm still trying to imagine how you know who those people are and their proclivities and things, but that's probably a little bit of what you worked out with Exchange Solutions to be able.
The parameters, how we there's a lot of things that needs to be taken into consideration. Categories, we have categories that are at low margin where we don't want to offer like super like high discount. It's maybe a high threshold. So there's lots of permutation of the various rebates. So it's a work that we've done with the ES team to ensure that we have the right offers for the right customer on the right categories at the right moment.
Mm-hmm. And obviously your ROI, because you're the important one, right? You're calculating ROI based on whatever you're investing to do these things. But that was quite positive as well.
Yeah, 74% ROI.
Yeah, it's a good number.
Yeah, it's a good number.
It seems to me like this should be a standard operating practice for retailers that are in the digital channel, right? Makes sense.
Agreed. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Why isn't everybody doing it? Yeah. So I saw some other numbers. I don't know if we covered all these, but yeah, just there were some loyalty affiliations too, right? Correlation between what you saw in the campaign results and some loyalty numbers. Could you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah. So we did have two. So the visitors that have that behavior that we are looking at, they visited the RONA.ca website twice more than regular visitors. and they placed 1.6 times more orders, and they spent 1.9 more also.
Wow.
So that showed us that when you reward a customer in the way that feels relevant and timely, they respond not just in the short term, they are coming back. So they respond also on the long term. So it's less about the discount, but it's more about the sense of recognition. And we were able to build stronger engagement with both known and anonymous visitor, which is huge for a brand like ours, where repeat visits drive like real value for us.
Right. Interesting. So even beyond these numbers, which are all very strong, how is the cumulative experience working with these campaigns with Exchange Solutions? Has it changed the way you think about personalization and customer identification, even let's say customer engagement?
Yeah, it really changed our mindset. We used to think of loyalty as something that happens like, after a customer signs up. Now we see that it's something you can build from the very first visit and even before someone logs in. These days, personalization, it's not just a nice to have anymore. It's a critical part of the customer journey. And the more we connect the data and the insight, the more relevant and valuable those experiences become for the customer. Yeah.
You know what it's making me think of, and I'm just connecting the dots. Maybe I'm a little slower than you are today, but considering that you're doing this in the digital channel for your consumer audience, it's not part of the contractor pro program. It's like you're identifying a degree of customer loyalty, repeat business, the willingness to repurchase amongst people without them even having to join a program in a formal way, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. I think you just summarized the beauty of it. Is it's so easy for the customer. They don't have to sign up in anything. It's just based on their behavior. They get rewarded. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, fascinating. So that's for many people that are talking today. They're suggesting this could be the future of loyalty, or at least a very viable alternative to having a formally structured program in every case.
Agree. Yeah, one-to-one, relevant to me. That's the future. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So, here you are. We've got you for a few more minutes, and there are other retailers here that are probably really interested to know, like, what should I know about this? What can you share, maybe retailer to retailer, that they would be interested to know without giving away anything proprietary, of course.
Yeah. The same advice I would tell my kids. It's the basic, the famous crawl, walk, run approach,
Okay.
right? So you have to start small, and you have to focus on learning fast. So those learnings are what matters the most to scale. You don't need a massive transformation to make an impact. You need to test, you need to measure, you need to do iteration, and you also need always make sure your teams are aligned on the business goal. In my team, I use the OKR method to track, measure, and for us, it's the best way to tackle anything in the team. I would also say, for us, the next step is connecting the dots between loyalty, personalization, and omnichannel. Everyone knows whether a customer is online, in store, using the app, seeing an ad, we want them to feel recognized and rewarded consistently. And that's where the real magic happens, right? I do believe that the brands that connects emotionally with their consumers are the ones that are going to win at the end. And you said that, like, the future, of course, the buzzwords on everyone's lips today is AI, right? So AI will impact e-commerce and loyalty in the months, years ahead. So it's going to open new ways to understand and serve our customer. So we need to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So at the risk of asking a dumb question, I always have to make sure I understand all the acronyms, but OKR, can you just explain
Objective key results. So that's a way, a framework. When you launch something, you have your objective, the expected key result, and then you measure.
Makes perfect sense. So the classical methodology that we even teach in our Loyalty Academy is they have a myriad of questions. What do I do? How do I start? And it's always the objectives first. So there you go.
There you go.
Okay, that's great. So where can I ask you, where do you see your customer loyalty engagement strategy going next? Will you continue on the path because it's working? Will you enhance it and maybe even create something more formal one day? Where do you think you might go?
I think all options are on the table. For sure, we're going to continue the path that we're in today, because it's been proving that it's the right path.
Yeah,
But we have many options. AI is also on the table. So we're building the plan, and I think you will hear from RONA eventually with new stuff coming.
okay. Yeah, I'm sure of that. And one thing about Canada, I feel like the brands are so important.
Yeah.
Like RONA is an iconic brand. It's a historical brand. It's
It is. Yeah.
at the risk of mentioning others, but I think about some really like intensely Canadian brands, and you're one of them. So you have a really nice opportunity there.
Yeah, and I think RONA does connects with the customer emotionally. The marketing team is doing a phenomenal work with our marketing campaign. To your point, I think RONA is one of the top player in Canada. So really proud of the brand. Yeah.
That's great. That's really good. So we have a few questions.
Okay.
You ready for a few questions? I'm sure. Let me see. Yeah, a few interesting things. So people are very interested in this whole process of the customer identification. So I'm going to read it. Let's see. It says,
Okay.
what are some of the best ways in which to identify customers when you do not own the sales channel or are still unable to ID them, even with a lot of transactions? It says, and tons of data, but no identity of them to enable relationships and loyalty. I guess, what are some of the best ways in which to identify customers when you don't own the sales channel? Well, you do own the sales channel, so I don't know if you would have a comment on that or not.
No, but so customer identification without a CDP is really impossible, nearly impossible. But that's
Okay.
what Exchange does. It does it for us. It just analyzes the behavior online with certain like metrics that we have in the basics rule. So it does it for us. So I think that's maybe the nuance is you don't do the analysis. It's basically proposing the offer for you based on some criteria.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So here's another one asking about the future a little bit, and we've talked about it a bit, but
Yep.
the question is, many people are saying points programs are not necessary anymore. Do you think that what you've been doing over the past 8 to 10 years is a viable alternative?
I think it is. I do think we need to evolve. Like the retail is growing, like the technology is growing at a fast pace. Sorry. So for sure we need to evolve. And I don't say we're gonna stay forever out of the points program. That I don't have a crystal ball. Maybe one day we're gonna say, okay, we need to do it. But today I think that there's also other levers in our power that we can use. I think when you trigger emotions in a customer, the customer will feel loyal to the brand, and he's gonna come back, right? So even if you
Right.
give points to a customer, but your experience is not good, he's not gonna care about the points if you give him poor service, you give him not the right product, not the right price.
Right.
Emotions is what brings people back in your stores, right?
Right. So there's another question here about private label brands. They're asking if RONA has private label product lines within the stores, and if you've been able to apply some of these tactics towards those in particular.
Yeah, we do have Value Plus. We have our RONA brands too, and a couple of brands also in the holidays and seasonal categories. So the offers that we have on ESI do apply on the private label brands. That private label brands is where you have highest margin normally because it's private label.
Right.
And back to the other question, private label, creates loyalty, right? Because you're the only one that has that assortment. And when people buy that product and they get used to buy your product, they're coming back. So private label is also a very good lever to create that loyalty for your brand.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. And so I have a question. I mean, it seems like what you're doing is an enhancement to the customer experience. Like you mentioned it a couple minutes ago about you have to have the right mix of product quality and the price and everything the service has to be good. But in that customer experience, I mean, I would, as a consumer, much rather get an offer that makes sense to me. And it sounds like there's a bit of relevancy implied in what you're doing because you're offering something to people in the right way, in an appropriate way.
Yeah,
Right?
and you also mentioned at the beginning our search platform, and this is also something that we launched. It's an AI-based platform. That means that if I'm going on RONA.ca and I browse the website, whenever I search for something, the results are going to be relevant to me based on my behavior online. If you, Bill, you're going on RONA.ca and you're doing a completely different experience, what you're going to search for on RONA.ca is going to be totally different than me. So we do at RONA want to create that personalized experience, and AI is helping us. So it's tailored to the browsing behavior, what people are looking, what they're clicking on. So that's making it relevant to the person who navigates RONA.ca.
Oh, and there's got to be a very beautiful intersection of that AI-powered search engine and the ES Engage, right? Offer management, right? Those two.
Exactly. So if, for example, we push the right product, then the user is going to spend time on the website. It's going to trigger the ESI on the categories that he is looking at because it's relevant to him and the offer is relevant to him. So you get the loop and there you go.
There you go. That's great. So
Yeah.
there's one other question about are you planning to apply these same sort of campaign approaches within the Pro program? So for your contractors, or have you already?
So two things. So the Pro program, you need to be logged in to benefit from the VIP Pro discount. I mentioned the 5 and 10%. We do have some pros that are not part of the VIP program that are just regular shoppers on RONA. So they do get the exchange solution rebate, even if it's not the targeted audience. We have stuff coming for our pros. Not necessarily more offers, but more on the experience side. So I think we tackle both customer segment just to create that experience and that emotional connection that I was talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So I have one last question for you, and that is, what did I miss? What should I have asked you that I didn't ask, or was there any part of the story that you wanted to talk about that maybe somehow we hadn't gotten to?
I think maybe just a little advice for everyone. Choose the right partners to make your business grow. ES solution, exchange solution, are a partner I can trust. So for example, everyone is you go to Shop Talk, retail, those big conferences, everyone is going to say, I have the magic solution. It's going to be easy to implement. It's not going to take long. It's always a lie, always. With the exchange solution team, it was not a lie, right? It was fast, easy. And I can give them a call a Friday at 4 p.m., say, I have a problem. My sales are not where they should be. Can you help me? They're there. They're answering the phone. They're doing what they need. So they are like an extra hand for the RONA team. So my advice would be choose the partner that can help you and that are really there and really care of your business with you.
That's great. That's a powerful endorsement. That's great. Yeah. And for anybody listening, that was not pre-planned.
Nope, that was not pre-planned.
That was not pre-planned. That was spontaneous. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah, Marie-Hélène, thank you so much for being here. And
thank you.
I always like to give thanks to CRMC, which is my favorite conference of the year. Great focus on retail marketing, retail loyalty, and all of that. And it's a pleasure to partner with them to do this webinar series. And thanks to Exchange Solutions for being a willing sponsor of it. And Marie-Hélène, you've been generous with your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was fun. Thank you for having me.
Very much so. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back here next time.
Bye.
Bye.